Hey everyone, it's Phantom X from Theoryforge, and today I want to share my very first impressions of Ashes of Creation Alpha 2 Phase 3, which just kicked off this week. I jumped in, of course, as a cleric playing the Nikua race and chose the Anvils as my starting area. I only spent about an hour and a half so far, but I want to give you that fresh eyes perspective. It's important to note that I have not been on the PTR at all, so I have no prior experience with these updates. First off, let's talk servers. For me, things were mostly fine. I was on the EU server, granted. It was around 3 a.m. their time, so not a huge population online to deal with. I didn't experience crashes or disconnects, and there was no queue, but I did notice some stuttering when crossing server worker boundaries regardless. For example, NPCs would vanish when moving between regions, which clearly isn't how it's supposed to work. Dynamic gridding wasn't enabled yet. They're still handling that manually. And I think that probably helped avoid some bigger issues, but it's definitely something that'll need more testing as player volume ramps up. I will say I am mildly worried that without dynamic gridding turned on, there were still server worker problems similar to those seen in past phases, in what was really an ideal player density arrangement. Now, the Anvils as a starting area. Visually, it looks fantastic. The underground fortress vibe really caught my attention, but once you start moving around, things feel off. NPCs had some major pathing issues, some stuck in walls, others running in circles, and a few that just look creepy or unfinished to a point that I thought they might be straight out of the Silence of the Lambs. To be honest, many of them looked a little stoned. There's also a lot of empty space. Beautiful environments, but very little to actually do in them right now. It makes the zone feel underdeveloped despite the strong visual design. And then there's the AI voiceovers. Honestly, they're rough, or maybe terrible is a better word. They seem to have gone backwards. Robotic sounding, variable pacing, mispronunciations, and inconsistent quality between NPCs. Personally, I'd prefer plain text over these placeholder voices.
This regulator lies up ahead. Its ancient halls have held strong, but it's crawling with beasts. Go no further without a strong party of adventurers.
Many of the mobs were targetable, but unresponsive and unable to be killed. And when I say many, I mean many. Also, I was able to walk through and into many parts of the environment that I shouldn't have been. For example, some of the large underground pillars, I could walk right through them. And none of the huts at the first settlement I came to had anything inside them. Just felt very bare. Questing in the Anvils felt very linear. It worked, but it wasn't particularly engaging. By level 5, the main quest line suddenly pushed me into 1-star mob territory, and even grouping with another player wasn't enough to manage. We just got overwhelmed. It's a sharp difficulty spike that really highlights how group-centric the game wants to be, but it felt a little jarring that early. Combat as a cleric felt pretty much the same as before. Smite and some daggers to carry me early on. Time to kill was okay, maybe a little slow, but manageable. Leveling speed seemed a touch faster than I expected, at least compared to earlier phases. An hour in and I was at level 5, and that seemed too fast. So what's the verdict after 90 minutes? Honestly, I'd give it a 4 out of 10 so far. Not terrible, but not impressive either. The world looks great, but the anvils feel hollow, like an amazing set piece without much gameplay substance. NPC bugs, weak AI voices, and copy-paste layouts don't really help. The good news is there's a patch already lined up, and hopefully that addresses some of the early pain points that we've been experiencing, but right now, Phase 3 feels very mid. There's a lot of work to do before this thing feels like a living, breathing MMO world. That's just my first taste of Alpha 2, Phase 3 as a cleric in the Anvils. I realize it's not a lot of time, so we will be adding more to that, and I'll be streaming more throughout the week over on Twitch and YouTube, and dropping shorts on TikTok as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you've already jumped in, what's your experience been like? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about how Phase 3 is shaping up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.